Hi everyone, it's Becky from the Monroe Township Library, and I've got good news. Summer is coming, which is my favorite time of year because of summer reading. But I'm not here to talk to you about your official summer reading list. I wanted to share some of my favorite just for fun books. You can download them through the library by using eLibrary, RB Digital, and Hoopla. And I really want you to read anything. Anything. Audiobooks, graphic novels, even the back of a box of cereal counts, because you can earn a free donut. But first, I'm really excited to tell you about some books. The first one I'd like to share with you is the absolute true story of the Berlin Candy Bomber by Michael O'Tunnell. After World War II, the city of Berlin in Germany was split in half and physically divided. On the eastern side of the city, it was extremely difficult for people to get supplies, even basic groceries. Sometimes the only way to get these much-needed supplies was by air. That's where Lieutenant Dale Halverson steps in, or flies over, I should say. He was tasked by the U.S. Army Air Force to airdrop food to the people. But when, by chance, he encountered a group of needy German children on the other side of the fence, he felt so bad for them he gave them a few sticks of gum. The kids were so grateful, they even took turns sniffing the wrappers. This gave Dale an idea. Without getting approval of any kind, he took it on himself to start Operation Little Vittles and began dropping chocolate bars from the sky. These sweet snacks used handkerchiefs as parachutes. If you need a story filled with hope and heart right now, this is the book for you. Here's our next one. Extra, extra, read all about it. This story is Isabel Star Reporter, and it takes place in the 1920s in Chicago, when gangsters like Al Capone called the shots. But who shot Charles the Bull Bessemer? That's what Isabel Feeney is determined to find out. While she was selling newspapers on a cold street, she heard a gunshot. By the time she rounds the corner, Charlie the Bull is dead. By his side is the Bull's fiancée, the beautiful Miss Giddings. But she's one of Isabel's best, nicest customers. Miss Giddings can't be a killer, can she? That's what Isabel has to find out, and she'll need all her sleuthing skills and spunk, and maybe a friend or two, to prove herself equal to any official investigative reporter. The verdict? With a quick plot that keeps you guessing, this book hits a bullseye. The next story is another non-fiction one. It's called Phineas Gage, the gruesome and true story about brain science. It starts like this. One day, in 1848, Phineas was a foreman in charge of a crew building a railroad. But back then, you didn't have a lot of tools. So if you wanted to get big rocks and boulders out of the way, you'd have to blow them up, the old-fashioned way, with gunpowder and something called a tamping iron. It's a 3-foot-long, big spear-like rod. Now on this day in 1848, something goes horribly wrong, and that tamping iron blasts right through Phineas's head. Yeah. Believe it or not, he survives. He can walk, he can talk, he can feed himself, dress himself, but he's changed. He's no longer the outgoing, friendly guy he used to be. His personality is totally different. This made scientists start thinking that different parts of the brain do different things. We now know that certain parts of the brain are responsible for movement, speech, even personality, and we have Phineas, or his accident, to thank for this. If you'd like to learn more about the accident and how he survived, read this one, but be warned, it's not for the faint of heart. The next story is about a mouse, a princess, some soup, and a spool of thread. It's Kate DiCamillo's Tale of Despero. Despero's a small mouse. He's even small by mouse standards, and he's weird. He's got oversized ears and wants to read paper instead of eat it. But the worst thing is, he's got big hopes and dreams and falls in love with a princess. He's the shame of his mouse family. They can't take anymore. The Mouse Council can't take anymore. So they condemn Despero to the dungeon, where there are rats. And rats eat mice. But there's a strange rat who likes the light and steals spoons to have something beautiful around. Roscuro makes everything much more complicated. This is a magical tale, a story that weaves rats and mice, soup and princesses, and thread together. It's a story about how everyone's choices have an impact on someone else. So guys, thanks again for listening in. The Monroe Township Library will be having a summer reading club, and it's easy to join by signing up through the library's website. We've got some unlockable badges through Read Squared, and don't forget that coupon for a free Dunkin' Donut. So don't forget, any reading you do over the summer counts once you sign up with the Monroe Township Library. Have a great day, everyone!